Today, I'm going to help you decide which is better. Should you stick to credit card travel insurance, or is it better to book with the airline and purchase their add-on airline travel insurance policy? Here's how to know which is the best for you. Before I go too deep into the specifics of each type of travel insurance, I do want to briefly touch on what travel insurance actually is. Now, I have other videos on travel insurance, so check out NerdWallet's YouTube channel to learn more. But in general, travel insurance is a bit of an umbrella term that covers many different types of forms of insurance. They include rental car coverage, trip cancellation or delay, lost or delayed baggage coverage, travel accident coverage, and some sort of 24/7 helpline. As you book your next vacation, it's highly likely that you'll be offered some sort of travel insurance along the way of your trip booking journey. There are many types of travel insurance, and they can cover a range of things, and they are offered through many different types of businesses. For starters, you could purchase a standalone travel insurance policy from a dedicated travel insurance company. Then there's the way that I typically get travel insurance, and that's through my credit card. Many premium travel credit cards will offer travel insurance as an automatic benefit for purchases towards that trip paid for with that specific card. But then there is another form of travel insurance that you might encounter along your trip booking journey, and that is airline-specific travel insurance. Often when you're booking a flight directly through the airline, you'll be presented a number of options at the checkout page, and one of them is choosing to insure your trip through that airline. So first, we're going to talk about having travel insurance through your credit card. Many premium travel credit cards offer travel insurance as a benefit. So you simply pay for the trip on that card, and if something goes wrong with that trip, then you can typically get the coverage. Now, there's something that I want you to realize, and that is that your insurer is not actually the bank itself. Say you have travel insurance through a Chase-issued credit card. Chase is probably not actually the insurance company. They work with another third-party travel insurance company, so they sort of almost just act as that middleman to connect you to the travel insurance company where you'll actually ultimately end up filing that claim. Now, speaking of filing that claim, make sure you document everything. So if you're on a flight that was canceled due to weather problems, make sure that you can get the airline to give you some sort of statement, maybe a receipt, some documented paperwork that you can then hand on to the insurance company to prove that yes, the airline canceled your flight due to weather, and that's why you're going to need to have that refund. As far as whether or not your credit card actually offers travel insurance, sometimes it can be hard to tell. Many credit cards don't actually advertise this because I think people are really drawn to those really flashy perks, things like bonus points on spending, that often consumers don't really even seem that interested in travel insurance. But personally, I think travel insurance is one of the best benefits. You can typically go online to your credit card site, or if you got out a printout guide to benefits, to check to see what the travel insurance policy is and how much it covers. I prefer to have travel insurance through my credit card, but you might be interested in purchasing travel insurance directly from the airline. You'll typically find this when you're going to book a flight from the airline's website, and as you check out through all the options, one of the options they might give you is to purchase airline travel insurance. Now, often this travel insurance doesn't just cover the flight itself, but it covers other extras. Those are similar to extras to what you might get with your credit card's travel insurance, and they can include things like lost or delayed baggage. I find this to be enormously helpful. If your baggage gets lost and you have to buy an extra toothbrush for the night, then that travel insurance can cover that cost, as well as all the other extras you might have to pay for, pajamas, a new set of clothes for the next day until your luggage gets back to you. Just like how credit card insurance isn't actually managed by the credit card company, but they use a third party, that's typically also the case with airline travel insurance. They also work with third parties. So for example, if you're booking a Southwest vacations package, their travel insurance is handled by Nationwide. If you're purchasing airline travel insurance from Alaska Airlines, theirs is handled by Alliance. So again, the airline is kind of just working as that middleman, but ultimately if you do need to file a claim, they'll send you out to that third-party insurance agency. Again, make sure that you have everything documented to make sure that that claim goes through. The biggest difference between credit card travel insurance and airline travel insurance really is just the cost. With airline travel insurance, you're paying an additional fee. So NerdWallet ran some sample itineraries for Delta flights that all cost roughly $1,000. And we found that the accompanying airline travel insurance policy cost about $100. That's $100 extra on your $1,000 trip. Now, say that you do that flight 4 times a year, you're paying $400 in travel insurance. I want you to realize that even though credit card annual fees can seem really, really high, $400 is kind of in that same ballpark. So if you're traveling multiple times a year, it might make more sense to pay for a credit card that has an annual fee and get travel insurance automatically included rather than pay that out-of-pocket expense every time. So when it comes to airline versus credit card travel insurance, which is better? Given that both of them require you to work with a middleman and ultimately you're dealing with the insurance company and either the bank or the airline is sort of standing in your way, I think those sort of cancel out and those are largely the same. Then you have to ask yourself how much coverage you need. Sometimes the credit card might offer more coverage, sometimes the airline might offer more coverage, but you might find one policy covers, say, $10,000 while another policy covers $20,000. Now, if your trip really is only going to max out at $5,000, then it doesn't really matter if you have so much higher coverage because you're never going to use that anyway. But make sure you read the fine print of all of your policies to make sure that you do actually have comprehensive coverage for everything that you might need. And this is going to even vary from bank to bank or airline to airline. So sometimes this is a case where you simply have to do your own research. Now, there is really a situation where you would opt for the airline insurance, and that is if you simply don't have a credit card. Maybe you're still working on building up your credit scores and you just don't have the credit scores to get approved for a premium credit card, or maybe you're just someone who doesn't use credit cards. They can be a great tool for some, but they're not for everyone. If you're someone who might struggle to budget when it comes to buying things on credit, and you find that it's just better to purchase things on debit instead, then you wouldn't have that credit card benefit as an option, in which case buying airline travel insurance can really make sense. Especially these days with how chaotic travel is, I always recommend having at least some sort of insurance policy for most types of trips. But as I said, ultimately, when it comes to airline versus credit card insurance gets you the insurance benefits and then some. Many of the same credit cards that offer travel insurance also have really other cool benefits. I'm talking things like free hotel night certificates, airport lounge access. So for me, I'd rather pay the price for travel insurance through my credit card and then get all those other benefits too. I'm Sally French, a travel and credit cards writer for NerdWallet. In my other Versus series, I compared TSA PreCheck versus Global Entry. To find out which one I chose, go ahead and watch that video too. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe.